Welcome to 2013. It's going to be a great year. Welcome to 2013, ladies and gents, where there's no longer a countdown to the end of the world. Good luck! In these uncertain times, by definition, you can't be certain of many things. And unfortunately, our Southern representatives in the NFL playoffs fall into this category. All of them? All of them! Fantastic! The Texans have lost 3 of their last 4 to end the season, and they've lost home field advantage for the playoffs because of the slide. I've seen teams get lazy towards the end just because they didn't really need the wins, but the Texans in this case didn't have that much margin for error. The story of the tortoise and the hare comes to mind. I believe they'll get past wildcard Cincinnati, a team that they beat last year with a rookie backup quarterback. But now they'll have to go back to New England, a place where they got drummed just a month ago in primetime. The Falcons have also lost 2 of their last 4, but their situation is much more favorable with a number 1 seed. However, Sunday's loss to Tampa Bay gives one cause to pause when you consider that the Falcons didn't rest their starters at all. The top seed was locked up, but they still chose to go all out against their division rival and did so at the cost of starters John Abraham and Dante Robinson. They'll have 2 weeks to recruit, but neither player returned to the game after their injuries, which at the very least isn't good and makes head coach Mike Smith look stupid. From teams with little momentum to all the momentum in the world in next week's game in Washington between the Redskins and Seahawks. The game features the 2 top rookie quarterbacks going head-to-head for not only a shot at the Falcons, but I believe for the Rookie of the Year award as well. Redskins rookies Alfred Morris and RG3 ran all over the Cowboys on Sunday, but they'll need even bigger contributions in a week against this Seattle defense. And don't you worry about those Cowboys, that's a subject for another time. But I never forget! Anywho, I'm giving the slight edge to Seattle early on, but if the young Redskins were going to have their first playoff game anywhere, the friendly confines of DC don't hurt. The NFL's regular season awards don't come out until a week before the Super Bowl. But why wait till then? I've got you covered, so we'll start with the Comeback Player of the Year. Is it ironic that I have these 2 as MVP candidates as well? Peyton Manning and Adrian Peterson are both runaways for the award this year. Peterson almost single-handedly drove the Vikings into the playoffs with the best year running backs had in recent memory. He came up just 9 yards short of Eric Dickerson's all-time record, but with 30 fewer carries, it's safe to say it's the greatest single season ever. Did I mention he was coming off ACL surgery? The guy's a freak, and it only makes the accomplishment even scarier. But overall, the award has to go to Peyton Manning. After taking a full year off for neck surgery, he has a completely new team winning their division on an 11-game winning streak. He's proven again why he's the best quarterback out there and possibly the best we've ever seen. To have the Broncos going at this pace on such short notice is unprecedented. They simply weren't supposed to be doing so well so soon. Free Papa John's for everybody! The league's premier defender came from out of nowhere this year and came close to some history of his own. In just his second year, Houston's J.J. Watt shot to the top of the defensive lineman ranks and was just 2.5 sacks away from Michael Strahan's record. There hasn't been a more disruptive force than Watt, who's known for swatting away quarterback passes and causing fumbles with his high-energy style. Charles Tillman was a heavy contender, but the Bears' collapse down the stretch puts a damper on a great season. The MVP is between my comebackers, but only one of them had the greatest season ever at his position. It can't be understated what Adrian Peterson has done this season. In an era where passing is at a premium, Adrian floated under the radar for most of the season, but running for over 100 yards in 9 of the last 10 games quickly changed that. And he ran for $150 in 7 of those 9. What? To put this in perspective, Peterson's 2,097 yards is almost 500 more than the runner-up. When it comes to the Vikings, there's no telling how far they could go in the playoffs, but if AP keeps taking it the distance, the list of teams that can stop them is very short. This week, everyone will be looking forward to the beginning of the BCS Bowl series, but if they're looking for the best game of the week, they're looking in the wrong place. I told you guys a few weeks ago that the Cotton Bowl will tell us if Johnny Football can stand up against a team that's been looking at his game film for an entire month. And for that reason, it's the most compelling matchup of the week and perhaps the entire bowl season. Johnny Manziel is fresh off his historic Heisman season, and both teams are fresh off of a BCS rejection. Oklahoma was forced out of the Orange Bowl by Northern Illinois, who barely qualified. A&M has 3 SEC teams ahead of them and never really had a chance with 2 league losses. So both teams have something to prove. 1, that they belong in the top bracket, and 2, that Oklahoma still has A&M's number. The Sooners have traditionally dominated the Aggies in Big 12 play, and another win would keep the Big 12 monkey on their back. We know Missouri still has one. Sometimes moving conferences is a good thing, but teams like West Virginia are still proving that just because you move doesn't make you better. Oklahoma has been consistent, but they've also wilted against their biggest opponents. Many consider Texas A&M to be the hottest team in the country, and they look to have the toughness now to step up to their big brother in the north. I think both defenses will be ready, so it'll come down to who has the most firepower. Oklahoma quarterback Landry Jones has spent most of his career with Heisman expectations, but Johnny Football's already got his, and I expect him to win in Dallas 35-31. That's the show, but I'll be back next Monday for Week 19, so stay logged on to RandallSportsReport.com. But that's my time, so I hope you have a happy new year, and we'll see you later.